Hey everybody, I'm Wendy. There's not a lot of light in here. That's a little better. I'm Wendy Emery. I'm your spiritual sister. Just wanted to pop on here and share a little bit more about me and give you a little bit of background, help you understand why am I on this kick about inner child healing. Why does it matter to me? Why am I passionate about it? Why do I think it's so important for you and all of us? Well, to give you a little background, when I was a little girl, our earliest moments matter. We store those moments and memories in our bodies. And when I was born to teenage parents who were very young. They didn't quite have it all together. They were doing what they could, and that caused a lot of strife, a lot of arguing and tension and uncertainty. There were times where my mom didn't have any milk to give me in my bottle, and Dad would say, well, I'm going to the store to get milk, and he just wouldn't come back for a couple days. So luckily I had some grandparents who helped us out here and there. But the point is, even before our earliest memories, your soul can be remembering some of those things that, when you didn't feel safe, when it was a little scary, when there were scary voices or loud things happening, or remember that feeling of not having what you needed. From there, Mom got away from my dad, but she married my stepdad, and when I was in the first grade, so about 6 years old, he started to sexually molest me. He was an alcoholic. He was violent. He was violent to my mom, to my brother, to me, all of us. He was very intimidating. We were always afraid of him. We walked around on eggshells. We were kind of in a, be seen, not heard, and don't be seen at the wrong time either, type of environment. And I won't go through all the details of it, but that scenario continued from, my first grade, second grade, third grade, and it was when I was in the fourth grade that, so roughly about 4 years of my life. It's when I was in the fourth grade that something finally happened, where my mom finally found out what was going on. And of course you can imagine her devastation, but she was really my hero. She called the police right away. They arrested him. I went to the hospital to be checked out, and they of course validated everything. I had to sit with the police. I had to go through lots of grueling tests at the hospital that didn't feel very good. Again, sit with police in a police station, talking about these things that I was afraid to talk about. I was told not to talk about it, that bad things would happen if I said anything. And you can imagine what that does to one's throat chakra, right? You're in fear to speak, and you feel alone, you feel shame, you feel all kinds of things, right? You know that this isn't right, it doesn't feel right, but again, you're afraid, and you feel helpless as a young girl against a grown man. And anyway, once the secret was out, my mom, bless her heart, she told me, it's not your fault. And those were the most important words, I think, that I needed to hear. And she helped me understand that he was a sick man. Of course, she went through her own trauma because of everything. She had also been, a victim of domestic violence and had been through so much herself. In some ways, this reveal became the catalyst for change. It became the thing that helped her gain freedom from the situation. It helped me and my brother to be free from this traumatic, controlling, violent person. Allowed me to become free from the sexual abuse, obviously. And now it was just time to deal with the aftermath, right? So, I was in 4th grade. I remember I had a little bit of time off of school. I went to see a counselor for, maybe a couple times in a couple 2-week scenario. It wasn't an ongoing thing. And I didn't really remember feeling any particular way about it, feeling better or worse or any of that. I just remember being there and playing with dolls or something, and her asking some questions here and there, and I was very unsure about how to even deal with that, right? But I was I was growing up, and I remember one of the things that meant a lot to me was, during the time that we were under the thumb of this very controlling stepfather, he made me wear a dress to school every single day. There was no getting around it. There was, so it was wearing a dress every single day. And I really didn't enjoy that. I didn't want to wear a dress every day, but I had to. I was forced. So, once he was gone, I was able to make the decision that I was not going to wear a dress to school. And I remember being done with some of the counseling, done with the court, done with the police and the hospital and all of it, and finally it was the day that I was coming back to school. And I remember walking up to my classroom in my jeans and my top that I felt cute in, and I felt good. I felt free. And it had been a really long time since I had felt that. At the same time, I felt nervous and a little anxiety. I didn't know if anybody knew anything for sure. I didn't, didn't know if people knew my secret, if they would just look at me and know, or what they would think about it, or how they would think of me. So my teacher knew, and she was such a lovely lady, and I just want to cry thinking about her. My teacher knew. Her name was Mrs. Smith, and she was the best. And while I had been out, I guess I must have been out for a couple of weeks, and they did this really cool decoupage art project. And so since I didn't get to do one, she made one for me, and it was so beautiful. I'll never forget it. It was a cute little girl. It was a, it wasn't really cutesy. It was just, I don't know, it was just perfect. And she did that for me, and it was lovely. It was beautiful. Anyway, I kept my secret to myself, from friends or girls for a really long time. I think at some point some girls asked me about it, like they knew something was up, or they wondered why I had been away from school for so long, or I don't know, but I really struggled to speak about what had happened. And of course at that age, I wasn't really prepared for how to talk to people about stuff like that. Anyway, my mom, we were able to, we got a dog, Tammy, a Samoyed Husky type, purebred Samoyed, and she was the best dog in the world, and she was amazing toward our healing as a